Hey guys, welcome to my den. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Chingu, which literally means friend in Korean. It's not my real name, but it's one of my so-called nicknames. Think of me as your friend who's helping you stay up to date with K-dramas as well as Korean movies. I love making commentaries, reviews, and explanation videos about dramas, movies, characters, and etc. Grab your snacks because today's tea is about to be hot, hot, hot. Today, I'm going to be reviewing episode 3 and 4 from High Class while also sharing some of my own theories. I reviewed the first 2 episodes and you can find the videos on my channel or in the playlist that I've created for the K-drama. The link will be in my description box. Episode 3 begins with Yeo remembering when she was first investigated about her husband's death. She looked distressed, sad, and wronged. She thought she was there as a witness, but instead she was being questioned as a suspect. I felt like the investigator asked a lot of leading questions, but I do know that he was simply doing his job. Although, I feel as though he could have been a bit more empathetic towards Yeo, seeing as she just lost her husband. In her memories, Jeon had told her that when the time was right, he'd tell her everything, and he also asked her to be patient. This furthermore confirms my hypothesis from last week about Jeong being alive, because he had premeditated his fake death. He asked her to wait because he knew what he was gonna be doing in a few hours. There's a reason as to why he faked his death, and I'm sure that it has to do with the foundation that chairwoman Ji Soo runs. This episode was titled Secrets and Lies. To be honest, I'm still trying to figure out what's true and what's not about some of the characters. One thing that's for certain is that Yeo has no idea what she's getting herself into. Jeong knew how evil people were in Jeju-do, yet he still set up everything for his wife to go there. Maybe he doesn't love her as he claims, or maybe he just trusts that she will uncover the truth. The PI, aka the private investigator that Yul hired, revealed to her that the flowers were sent from a shop in Jeju, which means that the person who sent them lives in Jeju. The husband is no doubt alive, but I don't think that he's the PI. I don't know if you guys remembered, but Jeong's shirt was found in the sea. It's just odd how white the shirt still was and how it appeared exactly when the investigators were searching for evidence. I believe that Jeong planted it there so that he could get his death confirmed by officials. I just feel bad for Yul though, because what she has gone through so much due to her husband's presumed death. It was very frustrating to see people egging her as she left the police station. People can never mind their own business. They also lacked a lot of empathy for Yeo. Danny started working at the school, and there he met Yeo once again. I'm glad that the latter was able to recognize her preconceived bias because it was not right of her to assume that he was a stalker. Her comment about him not looking like a teacher was hard to hear because here I am defending her from the people who think she murdered her husband, and yet she's also assuming the worst about a stranger she just met. I guess as humans, we just can't help but assume at times. On another note, I find it sad how Do-young is trying so hard to be friends with Ji-sung and her posse when those same women ridicule Do-young behind her back. Do-young is always trying to say that Yeol is out of her league, like she's out of Yeol's league. Meanwhile, the women who she thinks are her friends talk about her in the same manner when she's not around. In a way, her and Yeol have the same issue. They are surrounded by fake friends. Ji-sun sent Danny a gift so that he could do what's right for the hockey team. In other words, she wants him to kick out kids like Hee-chun, who haven't played before, while favoring her posse's kids. It's crazy how she says that kids should be on the same level. She's already instilling those thoughts into the mind of her young daughter. I don't think Ji-sun will be totally evil, but wow, she needs major character development. Nayoon and Jane visited Yeol's house. I got weird vibes from Nayoon and Jane. Like the latter seems scared of her mom at times. I wonder if it's because of something major. Anyways, while at the house, Nayoon seemed familiar with the place. She gave me the vibe of someone who was coming to visit the house she used to live in. She looked around while taking in all the memories that she used to have. Even the cleaning lady seems to know that something's amiss because she whispered that someone who's here isn't supposed to be here when she saw Yul. I wonder if she was referring to Yul or to Nayoon. I feel like the lady might be connected to Jane in some way. I'll explain later. While playing hockey, Hee-chan and Joon fell down. This caused a scene and the mothers were furious. Notice how they didn't have the same energy when it was only Hee-chan that fell down? They're such hypocrites. I pity Ji Sun's posse because they're always trying to cater to her even though they don't necessarily agree with her. On second thought, I don't pity them because they put themselves in that situation. This was what they wanted, so they'll have to deal with it. Guys, Do-young is so overdramatic. Homegirl fell down on her own and yet she's blaming Yeol. Ji-sun, on the other hand, is already trying to set up a new team along with a new coach for the kids. It's not gonna be as easy as she thinks though. I'm glad that Danny took the chairwoman's advice and decided to stand his ground when talking to the moms. By the way, in Danny's resume, he talked about how his mom influenced him to learn hockey. I wonder who his mom was. It would be such a plot twist if Dojin Sol was his mom. Not gonna lie, but she did look a bit perplexed while reading the resume, so who knows? Maybe she is his mom. The episode ends with Yeol confronting Do-young about Ji-young after catching Do-young cheating. The latter reveals that she knew Ji-young when she had started modeling over 8 years ago. She also explained how and why she lost her hairpin while following Hee-chan. The two women had just started talking when Do-young received an urgent call from Siu. As it turns out, Kwak Sung-gun was buying prostitutes, which is illegal, and now he got caught by the police. Yeol uses this opportunity to convince Do-young to hire her as a lawyer if she wants to keep her secrets safe. At the beginning of episode 4, Do-young apologizes to Yeol when the latter shares that she's not interested in scandals. I think Do-young is slowly starting to like Yeol without realizing it. Do-young opened up about her fears with Yeol. She's scared of being forgotten. I'm 100% sure that Do-young has never opened up like that with Ji-sun and her posse, because when she's with them, she's always trying to pretend to have it all together. This example reminds us to have meaningful friendships with genuine people who can help us grow. Someone was following the two women, by the way, and the person deleted the videos that had been sent to Yeol. I think the mystery person is a man because of their physique. I will refer to them as mystery from now on. After deleting the pictures, they got on their bike and left. Take note of how the license plate of the bike is Jeju. This person lives in Jeju. Mystery also followed Yeol while she was at the market with Nayun. I wonder if they're an ally or an enemy. Given that the husband is alive, it would make sense for Mystery to be Ji-young, but I think that the chef is Mystery, and I will now explain why. Exhibit A. Mystery was wearing a watch with green and red stripes. Ji-young has worn a luxury watch in all of his scenes, even when dressed down. Meanwhile, Danny hasn't worn a watch at all. I honestly doubt Danny likes watches because he's always doing physical activities that require his hands to be free of unnecessary accessories. Chef Mido, on the other hand, is always wearing a different watch. He wore a fancy watch when he served food to Yeol, but then wore a black simple watch while making out with Do-young. I think the watch can only belong to the chef because he has a similar watch, and I find it interesting how we have not seen his full watch at all. Exhibit B. I compared Mystery's hands with Ji-young's, Danny's, and Mido's hands. Mido's hands look identical to Mystery's hands, which makes me think that it really is him. Ji-young's and Danny's hands are slimmer and also longer. Exhibit C. Mido is suddenly in Jeju just like Yeol, even though they knew each other from Gangnam. It's also weird how he partnered up with Do-young of all people, especially since she has a connection with Ji-young. Exhibit D. Mido's cafe is very close to the school and plenty of opportunities for him to know chairwoman Dojin Sol. I think the chef is also part of the foundation and that he has something against either Ji-young, Yeol, or both of them. Exhibit E. The shoes that Mystery wore seemed just like Mido's style. Another reason why I think Mystery has to be the chef is because I don't think Mido is simply there to be Do-young's love interest. I think he has a greater purpose. These are all speculative theories, but I still wanted to share them. I do wonder though if Mystery is trying to bring all the main characters together because every clue points Yeol to someone else. I also wonder what's going on in the foundation because as of right now, it kind of sounds like a cult, but I hope I'm wrong. Do-young actually stood up for Yeol today, but that's gonna cost her her quote-unquote friendship with Ji Soo. I thought Do-young was vain and obnoxious, but wow. Ji Soo is on another level, and it's interesting how all that is hidden behind her so-called classiness. Everything is really not as they seem. Ji Soo allowed Yeol to participate in the bazaar, but only by handing out goodbye gifts. Nayeon knew exactly what she was doing by helping Yeol make the exit gifts. Nayeon already knew how the bazaars went, so I'm sure she did it to strain the relationship between Ji Soo and Yeol even more. How manipulative. She even threw out the bag that Yeol had received from her husband. I wonder if someone saw her doing it. By the way, guys, I think the cleaning lady is Nayeon's mom, and that's how she's connected to Jae-in. Shim Ye-sun also works at the market, and she told Jae-in that she was pretty just like her mother. Hae-sun has always looked mad in her earlier scenes, but now her gaze had softened with just one glance of Jae-in and Nayeon. I wonder why the two women aren't on speaking terms. I feel as though Nayeon resents her mother for something that happened in the past. Maybe it has something to do with her father or with Jeong. Also, as we had already assumed, Jeong is Jane's father, and this will be explored more in the next few episodes. After overeating most of Yeol's treats, Joon fell sick, and this caused Ji Soo to become furious and slap both Yeol and Unsecretary. Wow, Ji Soo makes me really mad. I've tried to understand her, but she's just so rude and condescending. I'm glad Danny was there for Yeol after that moment. He seemed to be holding back from taking too much care of her, and I wonder why. The reason I thought that the PI Oh Sang-soon was Danny is because Danny has a secret and he shares the same family name as the PI. But as I mentioned, if the PI is also Mystery, then I think it's only right for it to be Mido. Either way, I feel like Danny and Yeol share a connection that is beyond the foundation. Speaking of the foundation, Ji Soo and Do Jin-seol met at the end of the episode to discuss Yeol. Both women don't want Yeol there, and yet they need her there. I think it has to do with Ji-young. Maybe Ji-young has a file that has secrets that he might leak, and Jin-seol suspects that Yeol might have that file. It could also be that Jin-seol suspects that Ji-young is still alive, and she's doing the whole keep your enemies closer thing. It would honestly make sense for the PI to not be Mystery because the PI actually seems to be helping Yeol by warning her to be careful of those closest to her in an unfamiliar place. And as we all know, the person closest to her is Nayeon, so that warning is helpful. But maybe the PI is simply helping her in order to get his own ways. Because as we saw, Mystery deleted the very same clips that the PI had sent to Yeol. Wow, this drama is so thrilling. So many mysterious things are happening, and I can't wait to uncover them later on. The women are still trying to kick out Yeol, by the way, and I doubt that they will stop at any time soon. I'm glad that Yeol is fighting them heads on without backing down. The women belittle Yeol by saying that she's just a lawyer and that she can't do anything by herself. Little do they know that she's not by herself. The title of this episode was Sleeping with the Enemy. I think it's either referring to how Yeol was sleeping whilst Nayeon was in her house, or how Do-young is sleeping with Chef Mido. It could also be insinuating that for years of her life, Yeol has spent lots of time sleeping with her enemy, aka her husband Ji-young. It seems like Nayeon might try out the whole spy thing because she's going to make a proposition to Ji Soo. At the end of the episode, it was confirmed that Nayeon was up to no good. But for some reason, we don't see the scene of her sending the text or the flowers. So I wonder if she was not the one who sent those. Anyways, that was it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Episode 5 and 6 will come out soon on iQIYI, but you could find them on other drama sites as well, such as Drama Cool. My review for those episodes will be out shortly, so stay tuned. If you like this video and want to see more from me, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Take care, may God bless y'all, and until next time, bye!